U.S. President Donald Trump said on Friday that North Korea's participation in the Winter Olympics will go very nicely, but is unsure of peace after the Games as tensions continue to rise on the Korean peninsula. President Trump has stressed that the Olympics could help resolve the threats of nuclear war, despite Kim Jong-un continuing to develop his nuclear arsenal. The Winter Olympics begin in Pyeongchang, South Korea on Friday 9th of February.
Mr. Trump said, "It's a very tricky situation.
We're going to find out how it goes. We think the Olympics will go very nicely, and after that, who knows?"
The president went on to add, "We ran out of road.
We have no road left. So we'll see what happens, but in the meantime, we'll get through the Olympics and maybe something good can come out of the Olympics." In January, the hermit state resumed talks with South Korea, a move that North Korea's state media hailed as a path to reunification. The US and South Korea have halted their military exercises around the Korean peninsula as the Winter Olympics approach. North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho said, "We will make every effort to improve inter-Korean relations in future, too, but never sit idle with regard to sinister acts of throwing a wet blanket over our efforts."
Mr. Trump comments on potential conflict came during a meeting with North Korean defectors at the White House.
He met North Korean defector Ji Sung-ho, whose flight to freedom was highlighted in Mr. Trump's State of the Union address this week.
Ji, a double amputee who fled North Korea on crutches, said he was deeply moved and honored to be mentioned by the U.S. President in his first State of the Union address.
And he praised Mr. Trump for sending out a warning when he spoke of human rights violations in North Korea.
During his address, Mr. Trump said, "No regime has oppressed its own citizens more totally or brutally than the cruel dictatorship in North Korea.
We need only look at the depraved character of the North Korean regime to understand the nature of the nuclear threat it could pose to America and our allies."
Ji, who held his crutches aloft when he was acknowledged by Mr. Trump, said he was pleased the State of the Union speech recognized human rights violations in North Korea.
He said, "It will be meaningful to the people of North Korea.
It probably will come as a big threat to the North Korean regime."
I was moved to tears. I have never felt more honored in my life.
Like many North Koreans, Ji suffered appalling hardship when his country descended into famine between 1995 and 1998. The famine led to as many as 3 million deaths, and many of the victims were urban residents unable to forage for food. In 1996, Ji watched his body swell after he ate grass and dirt. He said, "My wish was to eat just a few ears of corn, not even a bowl of white rice.
My biggest wish, until I defected from North Korea, was to cook an entire chicken and gorge on it."